Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. We are going to be diving into a video that I was scrolling through Side Eye Guy's channel, and I saw it, and I'm like, I hope this is the episode of Ghost Adventures I've been talking about for a while with my friends. The conversation always comes up. Do you believe in Zach Bagans? Do you believe that he's really, like, a real paranormal investigator, or is it just all for show? If you asked me this question, like, back in, like, the early mid-2000s and whatnot, I would have been like, oh, yeah, no, 100%, Zach Bagans is one of my personal favorites. Man, he has declined so much on my personal favorite paranormal investigators roster. He really has. It doesn't even feel like he's actually going out there and investigating anymore. Every time he goes into a building, most of the time, feeling, and I believe in empaths, I believe in things like this, you know, I obviously believe in a lot of that stuff, but sometimes he really is over dramatic. And when I mean sometimes, I mean 99.9% of the time, he's just insanely over dramatic. I think he plays it off way more than it actually is. And I think it's also kind of encouraged his team to do the same exact thing. I've even seen Aaron starting to, like, always freak out about it. Like, every time something happens to where, like, they could just be sweating inside the building because it's a little humid, and they'll like set the camera down, start walking down the hallway, grabbing their forehead, saying something along the lines of, like, I don't know what just happened, but I just had a very strange feeling come over me, and they'll make a big deal about it, and then they'll play, like, really dramatic music and really build on it and stuff, and things that really don't happen a lot in paranormal investigations. And I've noticed it just from time and time again. I've just started to realize all of this really over dramatic shit. I watch Ghost Adventures, you know, from time to time because it is insanely entertaining, but I was watching an episode of Ghost Adventures and I just thought it was insanely weird. There was a fucking episode where, it was a recent episode, where Zach Bagans starts talking about this urge to have sex. I don't care how it sounds, sex is a part of life, you know, it's all about our life. I just want to have sex, man. I just really want to, like, screw, or whatever he said, and I just looked at the TV just, what are you talking about, man? What are you actually talking about? This never happens. But I want to see if Side Eye Guy is going to talk about this specific episode. I'm confident it's this episode. So hit the like button. Go support the original video by Side Eye Guy. Really nice dude. Always chill. So we're going to go ahead and watch this, and I'll give you guys my thoughts during it, of course, after the video. Alrighty then. Turn that bad boy up a little bit.
Hey, Segways, I need a palate cleanser. My last few videos have been brutal, so who better to watch than Zach Bagans himself in the legendary comedy that is Ghost Adventures. I already did a video on Ghost Adventures a few months ago, and I loved every second of editing that video. So in this video, Ghost Adventures visit the haunted Weatherford Hotel in Flagstaff, and it kicks off. It's mental the things they expect us to believe. A big, huge, giant thank you goes out to all my members and patrons for their support. And
yeah, let me go ahead and say before we really get into it again, like, I do believe in people who can feel things a lot easier than some people. Obviously, I'm a very emotional guy myself. Could that be a sign of an empath? It very much could be. But man, not even most empaths feel this shit on this level. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Every time it happens, I just can't get over it. There was one episode of Ghost Adventures, and this I almost 100% was absolutely faked, where Aaron, I'm pretty sure they're at the Goat Man's Bridge, and Aaron gets apparently, supposedly, thrown by this demonic entity. Like, they hear a crash or whatnot, and Aaron is, like, right over there. He says he was, like, far over there, and he's like, man, that's impossible. How did you just got thrown? And he doesn't even remember being thrown. Like, he's had, like, very dazed and whatnot. Like, he just had the wind knocked out of him, and he's all beaten up and everything. But his reaction to something like that happening was so kind of underwhelming. I genuinely just did not believe anything that he was saying. And I like Aaron, but I just could not believe that he would be as calm as he was talking to his buddies after literally, supposedly, being fucking lifted up in the air and yeeted about, I don't know how far they said. I'm literally taking an educational guess. 6 feet, maybe, if not farther than that. They literally said it was impossible that he got thrown, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably way too good to be true. I just didn't buy it at all. Whoever remembers that Goatman's Bridge episode, do you remember that moment when that happens, or like Zach starts like he starts getting strangled by something, and then he starts freaking out and screaming and whatnot? There's just too many over the top moments that I just personally do not believe. So yeah, Zach Bagans, I truly don't understand how a lot of people buy into it. I just really don't. I mean, when I was a kid, yes, but when I'm an adult, it's very silly. That's just my opinion.
And patience. I put this vote out a little while ago now, but because certain pests were getting in the way, I wasn't able to get the video out as quickly as I normally would. Ghost Adventures were the clear winners, and I couldn't have been happier. So thank you. If you wish to get involved in my next vote, please consider becoming a member or a patron. The link is in the description. Just a heads up before we kick things off, much like my last Ghost Adventures video and the low files, these are TV shows that I'm reacting to, so the copyright BS is really, really strict. If anything looks or sounds a little bit off, that'll be the reason why. I mean, I did all these edits for the low files and it still got copyright claimed. But in all honesty, I don't really care. I just love reacting to these trashy shows.
With every step we take in an old town like Flagstaff, Arizona, I can feel those who came before us following close behind.
No, you can't. I used to live in London. The amount of people who have lived and died in that ancient city would be staggering. But no sane person today walks around London and goes, I'm feeling those who came before us, following close behind.
Again, do you get what I'm saying? It's over dramatic for no fucking reason whatsoever. You never think about that stuff. You never. I'll tell you the one time I do think about something like that, and that's when I'm like at a historical location and they're like telling the stories about what could have, what went on and stuff. I start envisioning the whole scenario and whatnot in my head. That's about as crazy as it gets. But when it comes to just walking down the street, I never think that. You could make the argument because he knows he's going to a haunted location. That's just going through his mind. But yeah, it's a bit, again, over dramatic for no reason. Slow-mo walk while he's talking about it. It just, yeah. When I do my first ever ghost hunt, I'm actually going to be doing a slow-mo Ghost Adventures walk because I want to. I just think you have to do it one time in your life.
Too busy worrying about some chavvy twat who really is following close behind.
Who is watching us as we are looking for them?
Flagstaff is an old town. The population is around 77,000. The Northern Arizona University, which is located in Flagstaff, has a capacity of over 23,000. So this town has a huge student representation. I can tell you right now, if I was a student in this town and I discovered Ghost Adventures were filming in a local hotel, I would do my absolute best to mess with them.
You ever visit an old town?
Yes, I have.
And you see an old building and just something makes you lock eyes with it.
Let's not get too deep here, Zach. It's not like you're staring at the Taj Mahal.
And when that building knows that you have some type of ability to connect with that other spirit dimension.
When the building knows you have the ability to connect with the spirit.
The portals of hell! Yeah, like you just expect him to do that. Turn to the camera and say, the portals of hell, and start waving his fingers around.
Spirit dimension.
Yeah, it's...
Okay.
Yeah.
The sound is deafening.
Cut! For the 20th time, Zach. The silence. The silence is deafening. All right, from the top.
Henry Rockmark was by all accounts an upstanding citizen, but soon he was ranting and raving at entities only he could see.
He was so terrified he drew his gun and fired 3 shots. Bang, bang, bang.
What an eccentric performance.
He's very eccentric,
was haunting him, then allegedly consumed him to the point that he was full of rage and panic.
Sounds to me the guy had some serious mental health issues at a time where this was not understood or even acknowledged. But of course, Zach will subtly allude to this being paranormal.
And whatever haunted him is still inside this building with his spirit.
Yeah, he says it like it's a fact. You know what I mean? Like, that's the weird part. It's not like about paranormal investigating anymore. It's not like trying to figure out if his spirit's in there. No, it's 100%. His spirit's in there, and whatever was haunting him is in that building right now, and we are going to find it. We are going to go in there. It's like there is no, like, debunking of any sort. There is no, like, trying to figure out if that is actually true. And I agree with Side Eye Guy, man. It is definitely, I do believe this could be 100% a situation where this guy was suffering through something and nobody understood that at the time. I mean, he could have had his reasons for sure. But, of course, we just got to say it was all paranormal. 100%. There is no trying to figure out if it was or not. It's just paranormal because that helps our show. It's paranormal. It was creepy. It's a creepy story. Some guy was seeing stuff. Paranormal.
Did I just say Zach would subtly allude to Henry's madness being supernatural? Well, I was clearly wrong. Zach doesn't do pointless things like thinking before he speaks. Henry's episode was 100% caused by ghosts. There's no other explanation.
Yeah.
Sam Green and Henry Taylor have owned the Weatherford since 1975.
Have you ever had anybody like Henry Rockmark who stayed here and was really freaked out by something?
Yeah, they've stayed here and they haven't wanted to stay.
That could be because the hotel does get its fair share of 1- and 2-star reviews.
Wow.
That has nothing.
Look at those reviews. Like, I mean, for the most part, you know, very good. It's not bad. But terrible. 51 reviews. That's, yikes.
To
Something's
do with
going on.
ghosts. But I don't want to be a dick about this. The hotel does have far more positive than negative reviews. I'm sure it's a lovely place to stay.
Weatherford
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure, but you gotta admit, 51 terrible reviews and, like, wasn't it like 92? I mean, only 40 reviews off, and it does have more better reviews, I guess. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that, but still, 51, that's not amazing by any means, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm just kind of saying my opinion. I'm not sure what it is today. Maybe it's a lot better, but for right here, if we're talking about this right now, not the greatest. But, you know, it probably is a very nice hotel. No doubt about that.
manager Drew Purcell and 3 other people witnessed unexplained poltergeist activity at one of the hotel bars.
A bottle which was up on a shelf, and it was, you know, pushed back. It wasn't hanging off the end of the shelf. It just spontaneously drops right down and shattered.
In all honesty, I want this to be paranormal. The problem is, the hotel is so eager to be a haunted attraction since they reached out to Ghost Adventures to promote it as such. A haunted hotel reaching out to a questionable ghost hunting channel for exposure? Sound familiar? Anyway, is this all happening because the hotel is actually haunted or because there's a gap in the market and paying customers will always want to spook? Did something perfectly natural happen that would have happened sooner or later with the vibrations of general bar use, moving that bottle ever so slightly over a long period of time before it was eventually captured falling on camera? Or was it a ghost?
Henry bought the place in the mid-70s.
I think because of also the location of it, I would say it was probably just natural causes. Like, what ghost would want to just knock something off from the top shelf, right? Like, why would they want to do that? What is the purpose? Why not go down below and try to knock something else down there, right? I think about that stuff sometimes. Like, I use a little bit of, and I don't want to say common sense, but I want to try to really kind of get an understanding. Because, you know, again, I do believe in spirits, so I do believe that they were people just like us. Why would they want to do that? Why would they just not want to try to communicate in a more clever way, a more reasonable, understandable way, instead of just knocking a glass cup off of the very high top shelf, which it almost looked like it was kind of slanted a little bit, so it could have just, you know, maybe, for all I know, or the one behind it or whatever have you. But I just feel like, and I love that he has a shining tie. I just realized that. I just realized he had a shining tie.
The ads for the place, they were advertising.
Like they're,
you know,
he's right. They're really kind of coming off like they're trying to advertise this place as really haunted because it's a hotel, spirits, ooh, and then now the guy has like a shining tie on.
just for like weekly rates.
All right. Got it. Got it.
You want me to call 911?
Yeah, get some more.
Okay.
We can call the ambulance.
In the middle of Drew's interview, one of my crew members collapses without warning and hits his head on a chair.
So one of the cameramen suddenly falls over and they hurt themselves. When the paramedics arrive, they have no explanation of what would have caused the fall. That's according to Zach anyway. We don't actually hear from any paramedics directly.
What happened?
I was just standing operating camera doing an interview downstairs in the basement, and I guess I passed out, fell back, hit a chair.
I want to know if Gavin had enough sleep. Did he have a big night the night before? Is he staying hydrated? Zach is great with acting concerned for his team when he's on camera, but it seems to be a very different story when he's off camera. According to Nick Groff, who used to work on Ghost Adventures as an executive producer, he had some eye-opening things to say about Zach and Ghost Adventures in general in a YouTube Q&A video he did, which I would advise everyone goes check out for themselves.
This may be controversial.
Yeah, it's a very, I've seen Nick Groff's video. Very eye-opening for sure. I definitely, it was one of the reasons why my belief in Zach started to really die down, was because of what Nick Groff was saying about him. And again, it did kind of make sense with what I've seen. I'm not saying there is like physical or factual proof that Zach was pulling some of the things behind the scenes and whatnot, but like with cancellations of other shows. However, there are some things that do kind of feel a little bit too fitting, if that makes any sense, with how Zach has been portraying himself. Yeah.
I know, but what was it like
Big
working
ego.
on the GA team after the documentary and Fame hit? Just wondering if rumors are true about you-know-whose ego from experience. I questioned him once about how he treats his team and was blocked instantly.
In my opinion, this rumor is true. I witnessed it firsthand, and I saw him treat people just as poorly. This host was terrible to work with. It was an extremely hostile environment to work in, and also Dakota can speak on his experience with him too.
Nick brings up Dakota at the end here, and yes, that is the same Dakota from Destination Fear and now the YouTube channel Project Fear. There is a whole thing going on there with accusations that Zach had something to do with Destination's cancellation, but I'm not going to get into all that right now.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Dakota said Zach had nothing to do with the cancellation of Destination Fear. And even Zach, I guess, has come out and started saying stuff even more recently, like maybe like a month or so ago, where he was actually calling people out saying, I actually had nothing to do with the cancellation of Destination Fear, so you need to watch what you say, because it could get you in serious trouble. And I guess there is like some truth to that too. It's like, you know, I can't really sit here and make those kind of accusations about Zach having something to do with the cancellation of some such big popular shows, because I just don't have the physical proof to prove it. But I definitely can see the points of his ego being too big. To me, Zach has always come off like somebody with a big ego. You know what I mean? Like, I've always felt that. Not really his earlier seasons of Ghost Adventures, but when at some point during the time where he was on, you know, Sci-Fi and whatnot, I feel like his ego just certainly had a boost. And the guy, I feel like, in his mind, can do no wrong, and he is in charge of everything, and he is the one who gets to say this, that, and this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
From what I can see, it's mostly rumors, but a lot of people seem to think there is some truth behind these rumors. All said and done, Zach is allegedly not the nicest guy to work with.
Apparently not.
So I would like to know the kind of working conditions Gavin was faced with before he had this collapse.
I begin with a polterpod session.
Not a bad little theory there. Yeah, saying that maybe the stress of working with Zach maybe caused him to collapse, and that could be very much true. Maybe, you know, it could have been a setup. I don't know. Obviously, I don't have the proof to say that that whole situation was set up, that he, when he collapsed. But he will probably just make it sound like it was paranormal. He'll probably work with it to make it sound more spooky for the location, right? Yeah.
In the area where our crew member was struck down.
A what?
Struck down? The only parts of the episode I did watch was I literally was walking downstairs because I was coming back up to film, and the sex part was the part I walked in on. So I had no idea about any of this stuff beforehand. I only know about the whole, like, I just want to have sex. I stopped and just looked at the screen like, did I really just hear that right? But I did not know he said that in the thing. Yeah, he was struck down. You couldn't just say a simple, like, he just collapsed?
Pod session.
What is that?
And also, can I just point this out? Because not a lot of people point this out. The Ghost Adventures crew, for the most part, are always layered up in black clothes. Always layered up. I've noticed this in so many of their investigations. They wear so many black clothes. And if they're wearing a couple layers, I'm not sure how much the guy was wearing. Looks like he had some, you know, black on and whatnot. But sometimes I'm sure that could probably cause, like, heat stroke, or maybe, like, you know, if they're dehydrated, maybe the heat gets to them. For 100%, they're working around heavy, hot equipment. You know, I'm sure those cameras get pretty hot after a while of recording. So, yeah, take that into consideration too. Not saying that's what happened, but it could play into it.
I've never heard of a polterpod session before. I'm guessing it measures electromagnetic readings or some shit. Ghost Adventures don't ever actually explain what the hell it is.
What is the name of the spirit that attacked our crew member?
Whoa, I got a you guys.
What?
This went to like a 7.
And again, he goes straight towards the paranormal. What's the name of the spirit that attacked our crew member? Why not just say the guy might have been just exhausted and collapsed? Why does it always have to be paranormal? There was no ounce of any sort of debunking. It was just... Even the guy kind of didn't sound like he was too sure about what happened because, you know, he's the one who experienced it. Like where he goes and says, I guess I just collapsed. Maybe Zach was like trying to influence him to make it paranormal sounding. You know what I mean? Like maybe he's completely aware of why he collapsed, but he just said, I guess this is what happened. Probably just to let Zach kind of do what he wants with it, right? 100%. Like again, guys, if you start YouTube, be honest, because if Zach, if he's ever lying about any of this stuff, and he actually is the person that maybe some people make him out to be, this will come back and bite him in the ass someday. Toxic work environments. I mean, look what happened to Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, it might come back and bite you in the ass. So, you know, you be careful about that ego. You're not invincible. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Ellen DeGeneres is way more popular than Zach Bagans. And look what happened to her in the blink of an eye. So, be careful.
Oh, God, no.
If that is the case. I'm not saying that's 100% the case with Zach Bagans. I don't know. But if it is, there is that, the truth will come out someday.
No, not 7.
It's right in the corner.
It's in the corner.
I just got really, really lightheaded right here.
Take off the beanie.
Really dizzy right here.
Want to smoke a joint before trying?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, guys. I wear beanies a lot, and it causes me to get lightheaded. Especially when it's warm. Wearing a beanie, I was mowing the lawn, because I'm a psychopath. I was mowing the lawn in a hoodie, black pants, and a beanie on. Probably in 95-degree weather. Didn't work out for me so well. I wanted to pass out. I had to run back inside, grab water, chug it, threw that beanie off, went back outside, and it was a lot better. But I got lightheaded. I got exhausted. Look, Zach is like coated up in all of this black gear. He has a beanie on. He has a mask over his face. It makes perfect sense why the guy might get a little bit lightheaded, you know? Perfect sense.
This on.
Got to remember that this type of place, there's probably countless spirits.
Countless? You just need to find one.
Algernon. What happened?
Just stop recording.
The GoPro?
Yeah.
When I said his name.
I'm not
Dude, that's right. When you said his name.
When I said his name.
It stopped the GoPro from recording. No, the battery's fine. It's still full bat.
I don't think we should say that name again.
I swear to God, every single episode of Ghost Adventures, their camera goes on the blink somehow. They must get all of their camera equipment secondhand.
Dude, that's weird.
What
bro.
is it?
I'm not saying it.
Say it.
No.
Say his name.
Say my name.
Algernon.
You're goddamn right.
They make it sound like it's going to fucking harm them, right? Like it turned off a camera. Say his name. Like it's Beetlejuice, like he's about to come out, right? Like, calm down, guys. It's not that big of a deal. Camera died, whoop-de-fucking-do. Move on, grab another one. You guys can afford it. I'm sure you can.
I don't know if I'm being overly sensitive here, because I think this is all nonsense. But if you were to believe that there is an evil spirit here, and you believe saying its name will do you harm, since some of the Ghost Adventures crew may well think that Gavin's fall could have been supernatural, then Zach pressuring one of his crew members to say this evil spirit's name is kind of horrible, isn't it?
Can you talk to
This is another thing, and this is something he really can't argue about. He puts his fucking employees in such horrible situations. Now, I'm sure they're contracted, they knew the risks, they knew all that stuff. But at the same time, let's say they really do believe in this paranormal stuff. Let's say they do believe what they're actually saying, right? Like, this name could cause them harm. And Zach is sitting there saying, say the name. Don't be chicken shit, basically. Say the name, making them do something that they clearly don't want to do. If Zach didn't care about it, he would have just said it, right? So I do think it's a bullshit thing. Even if Zach ever sees this, and I highly doubt he will, it's bullshit that you would make your employees do that. I don't care how much you're paying them. If they're saying they don't want to do it, why make them? Is that your way of adding drama into the episode? That's exactly what I suspect. I suspect that you think this is adding drama because you're going to add some pretty cool music, and you're going to be looking at them with that glare, and you're trying to make them do something they don't want to do, which, if that's the case, or maybe they're putting on an act too, I don't know. But overall, not a good look on you, just in general, because it makes you look like you're trying to do... I mean, when you lock Aaron in rooms without him even knowing it, which I'm assuming... I'm just going to go ahead and take it, give him the credit, the benefit of the doubt that maybe Aaron doesn't know he's going to do these things. Like, lock the door on him, and he's like, actually, dude, fucking open the door right now. And Zach's like, just stay in there, just stay in there, just stay in there. That's like a child, man. How about open the fucking door, or I break it down and you can pay for it? You know what I mean? Like, I will... If you ever pull that shit on me, and I'm telling you I don't want to do this, and you shut the door and lock it on me... I'm sorry to that lovely historical location. Blame my coworker. I'm going to probably kick the door down because I'm not going to be forced to do something I don't want to do. Let's say my fear is at an all-time high and I'm having a hard time breathing, right? And I didn't mention a single fucking thing to my boss. And he decides, hey, man, can you go in there with me for a second? And then he goes and shuts the door and locks it. And let's say my chest is really hurting because I can't breathe. I'm nervous. I'm scared. Shit's been going on all night. And he's not listening to me. He's not going to open the door. Either I kick the door down, I call 911 and have them open this door. It don't matter if it's for a video or not. I ain't playing that shit. I think that's so childish to do. I think that's so childish to do. You're all grown men, and if they say they don't want to do it, you respect that fact, right? I think that's my personal opinion on that matter. Now, here's the thing. Before people start leaving comments in the comment section, I respect all historical locations. I would never intentionally break down a door. But let's say if I'm having a panic attack and my fucking dude's not listening to me, I'm getting out of that house. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I know people are going to be like, but you said you never heard of, historical, they deserve our respect. 100%. I just got to explain myself because people are going to make those comments. No, I would never intentionally do it. But if my coworker is not listening to me and I even say, I'm going to kick this door down unless you open it right now, unless the door is like made of like aluminum, not aluminum, but like some really hard metal or something, I'm going to be like, either you open it or I'm kicking it down. Don't force me to do things I don't want to do. You should know better. And I don't blame anybody for doing that for me if I was doing that to them, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I do think that's a shitty part of Zach. I think that's a shitty side of him when he's actually making these people do things that they clearly, apparently don't want to do. And he's just going along with it because it's just for the show. It's kind of silly.
We know that you're here. I can see you breathing.
No, you can't, Zach. You cannot see a ghost breathing. Why would a ghost even need to breathe? You know what? Never mind.
I just got this weird vision of this guy.
That's true. Why would a ghost need to breathe? They no longer need oxygen. They don't have lungs anymore. Why would it need to breathe? I just figured it would be just standing there.
He's doing what? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. For any kids that may have stumbled across this video, this is Zach doing a gorilla impression. Ooga booga!
I literally watched that movie last night. Love Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, a gorilla impression. I get that Zach is supposed to be difficult to work with, but he is entertaining.
Very.
Just got really bad stomach pain. Just like a stabbing pain just suddenly right here.
This always
Maybe
happens.
they all got food poisoning. I don't know. But at this rate, Zach will be filming this solo.
At the same time that I have a disturbing vision of a man breathing heavily, Jay feels intense stomach pains and receives what might be a scratch mark.
Oh, God, it's getting way more red.
The cameraman has an earring right next to the red mark on the back of his head. So maybe that's got something to do with it? I don't even see a scratch mark. I just see a red patch of skin. So if I were to crowbar logic into this nonsense, I'd say the cameraman maybe had the camera over his other shoulder, and that camera pushed against that earring into the back of his head. Or it was a ghost.
Spikes like crazy.
For real? Are you serious?
8.2. Yes.
What?
Yeah,
what
9:15.
This is always something that weirds me out when they act so surprised about the temperature changes. They always are like, what? That's impossible. What are you talking about? Oh my God. How long have you guys been doing this? And this stuff still surprises you as much as the last episode? How long until you're going to finally be like, that's interesting? Oh, look at that. It's actually going up a little bit. That's cool. Why have responses that are so overdramatic?
13, just saw something on the camera. 13, 12, 14.
Whoop-de-doo! What does it all mean?
There goes crew member number 2. What the is going on here, man?
I can't tell if Zach is going to give a huge bollocking to all of the crew members that are dropping out of this episode, or if he's just happy to use it for content.
What is that? That's where you were standing, right? Yeah. Did I do that? I never saw anything on the wall like that. As you can see, there were no marks on the wall before Jay was attacked.
He's wearing all black clothes. So whether he's aware he's doing this or not, it's very easy to have black soot on your arm sleeve and then to rub the soot against the walls.
Yeah, it looks like burn marks.
Felt like I was
Burn marks.
That's dude. I don't like seeing burn marks on the wall where I was.
So can ghosts create burn marks without actually burning anything? Because nobody said they smelt anything burning.
Here's an idea. Why not have him do the same thing and see what happens? Why not have Jay walk over, put his arm against a wall, and see if it makes another patch? Why not do that? And then prove that it's not what you think. But it automatically has to be the worst case scenario. Burn marks. I don't like burn marks being on the wall where I just stood. Do you see the problem here? Do you see why this is all just a bunch of silly BS? And look, again, I watch Ghost Adventures because they're entertaining as fuck. They are so entertaining. But this stuff, as a kid, I used to believe 100%. Like, oh my god, burn marks just appeared on the wall. And it's really not that. So.
At any point.
I just felt something grab my wrist just now. Swear to God, it felt like someone like...
I can't stand this guy. I'm sorry. I know he might have a lot of fans. This guy always has something happen to him. He breaks out in tears. He's freaking out, screaming. He's just like Zach in some cases where he's so over the top. And something always grabs him or messes with him or something like that. And that never happens in most paranormal locations you'll ever go to in the history of your existence or on life. So I don't understand it. It literally could have been a shirt moving and sliding up around his wrist. I've had it happen many times. I've looked down and there's nothing there because it's actually just my fucking clothes. Get a grip. I'm sorry. At this point, it is annoying. Get a grip. It's your fucking clothes probably moving on your hand and you made something it wasn't. I'm rant.
I just squeezed my wrist.
You lying son of a bitch.
It's in that room. I told you.
Dude.
I saw him in there. He was going.
Oh, God, Zach.
I don't think Zach has any idea how funny he is, which makes him even more funny.
I had a vision of that.
Oh, we're going to see more of Zach's visions as the investigation goes on. But first, I've got to share this find. Zach has done an album. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play any of the music, but please go check it out for yourself on Spotify. He collaborates with Praga Khan, who looks like the offspring of Iggy Pop and Bruno. The music from Praga Khan isn't actually that bad if you're into that atmospheric, gothy kind of stuff, but it's the lyrics that make this stand out. Zach doesn't sing. The lyrics are all spoken word taken from clips of ghost adventures during Zach's investigations. So every song kind of reminds me of this classic.
I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse.
Please go check it out for yourself. I would say you won't regret it, but you probably will regret it.
I am pissed off.
Oh, scary. Oh, shiver my timbers. Shut up, man.
This is getting personal. First, something attacked my crew member. And now my friend.
Poor Gavin is just referred to as a crew member, but the other fella gets to be Zach's friend. I highly doubt Zach knows the last names of either of these guys.
We can't say for 100% that our crew member collapsed due to a spirit, but I mean...
We can't say 100% it was a ghost, but we won't offer any other theories or information that will come up with a more rational explanation.
I don't think that we are fully capable in understanding the magnitude of power that we are dealing with here.
Chill, Zach. You're in a hotel that would have guests coming and going every day.
It's at a whole other level. And if this keeps on and gets stronger, we could be in serious danger.
Grow up. Grow up. I'm 8 years old, man. And when has most of the time ever, if ever, something put you in serious danger at a haunted location, if ever? How often do you think this happens? Where something will literally supposedly pick you up off the ground and fucking throw you 6 feet. How often does that happen? It never happens. So stop building it up like it's supposed to be this insanely scary place. I want to know how many people have gone into that location and have had some very serious shit happen to them. How many people? If you actually were one of the people who've actually had some really interesting encounters in that location, leave a comment down below. Let me know. But do you think Zach is overplaying it? And how much do you think he's overplaying it? Be honest in the comment section, of course. Because I'm at least at a 75, if not 89 fucking... I'm pretty much at 100%. Let's be real.
I'm in danger.
We're out in the main bar area where all the tables are. Watch this.
Crazy he says all this.
Did you catch it?
Yeah, I saw that moth.
You're gonna trip out. I've never seen anything like that.
Wow.
It's, I don't know, but
it's definitely not any type of flying insect.
What are you talking about, Zach? That's exactly what it is. It's a moth.
I'm gonna show you one more thing. Can you watch this?
What the hell was that?
Oh, that was another moth, fellas. Another moth.
It went right to his camera.
Keep in mind, these guys come off are supposed to be professional paranormal investigators, and they can't fucking tell the difference between a bug and something supernatural. You know what I mean? Do you see the problem here? These are the people that you expect to be professional. But I don't see any professionalism here. I don't see any trying to figure out what this could have been, right? I don't know. It actually does aggravate me. We're getting to the point now where in this world of the paranormal, these are the kind of people who are at the top of the game. And there is no ounce of any sort of debunking or throwing in more possibilities. Hell, he just threw the whole concept of being a bug outside the window. It's no way a bug. When in reality, it was a bug. Do you see why that's a problem?
Messed with his camera lens. It goes right to the lens, tries to do something, and then continues on.
The lens was probably reflecting light, and that would have attracted the moth. Jesus, guys, come on now.
This very strange anomaly appears to attack the camera lens.
Fucking Mothra. Yep.
I mean, literally. It goes right at the camera lens, does something to
This is silly.
And it's like...
Is this intentional? Is this really like a real investigation? I don't believe this is intentional. I feel like this was just all to be a practical joke. Like, at least this one. Let's give it the... Because this is the silliest shit I have seen in an investigation. Not even Overnight or Sam and Colby or any of those guys would have at least pointed it out. It's probably a bug. I mean, without question, it's a bug. But these guys have been at this game for how long now, and they can't even fucking determine what's a bug and what's a ghost? I don't know, man.
Want to be filmed.
Do you actually believe the crap that comes out of your mouth?
The fact that Gavin was operating a camera when he was rendered unconscious could be further evidence of something here not wanting to be filmed.
The word evidence gets thrown around very loosely by Ghost Adventures.
Okay, we are locked down inside of the Hotel Weatherford.
If the hotel is willing to go lockdown and have no paying guests in for a whole night, so Ghost Adventures can have the whole hotel to themselves to investigate, this makes me ask the question, just how popular is this hotel? And could this be a big reason why the hotel reached out to Ghost Adventures in the first place? Anyway, Zach and Co hear noises from the upstairs, so they all go and check it out.
As I was taking pictures with the thermal still camera, I noticed this strange figure or form just to the right of the lamppost. You see the light here?
Yeah, I see the lamp, floor lamp.
The floor lamp.
Right.
To the right of that, right here, do you see that weird shape?
Yeah, it looks like it has little skinny legs on it.
Okay, now watch this. This is gonna blow you away. Watch that spot. There's nothing there.
What?
There's nothing there.
In all honesty, I like this one. It looks creepy, and I don't think it's Ghost Adventures faking anything. I'm pretty surprised that I actually want Ghost Adventures to have found some real paranormal evidence here. Genuinely, I want this to be a ghost. But I do have to offer just one alternative explanation.
No, go for it. They go for it.
Later in the video, Ghost Adventures go back into this room and they show us the layout of the room without the thermal camera on. And we can see right next to where this ghostly figure appears are some curtains. Ghost Adventures do not show us if that window behind the curtains is opened or closed. So could this ghostly apparition just be the curtains that are moving? When the
It's very
bedroom door
possible.
opens, it may have...
And you know what's crazy, man? If they had actually put the effort into checking if the windows were closed or open, if they actually given a shit about debunking anything, they would have debunked that immediately. But if they were shut, it could have been something. That's the sad part, man. It could have been something, but they chose not to try to debunk it, and now we're just kind of left with the... It could be a ghost, or it could be just bullshit. But if it was actually, they could have... But they didn't. That's the problem. They didn't do it.
Created a draft in the room, and Ghost Adventures took the photos inside the room very quickly after opening the bedroom door. So could this ghost just be the bottom corner of that curtain that very quickly flicked up with the wind as the bedroom door opened? It's just an alternative explanation anyway.
But I do like it too. I do agree that with Side Eye Guy, it actually is a cool picture to catch, for sure. It does the way it has an arm kind of going up. I mean, it very much could be, but again, if it was actually attempted to be debunked, we're not going to really know anything, and I'm kind of leaning in more towards the possibility of it not being a ghost, even knowing I would have loved to have seen him debunk it. And if the window was shut, I'd have been like, okay, that's pretty cool. That actually could be a ghost. But unfortunately, there was no attempt.
I do wish Ghost Adventures has shown us the room properly, and if the window was open or closed. But I do like this one all the same.
This presumed figure is also blue on thermal, meaning its temperature is cold.
Or the same temperature as, let's say, those curtains. Look, it's the exact same color and temperature as those curtains. I do want to be wrong about my explanation. The problem is, Ghost Adventures is about as far from a reliable source as it gets when it comes to getting paranormal evidence.
Aaron now tries to make contact with this spirit using the polterpod. Do you want to try turning?
Whoa! Oh! Dude, it is so cold. All this energy felt like it came up from my feet, out of my head.
You just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop! Drop down, snap. Ah!
Whoa!
That's exactly where it was, next to that
Whoa!
lamp over there.
What's that? The was that? A black shadow just shot over my head.
Calm down.
Oh my god.
Bro, I saw this like black shadow fly over my head.
I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything either. Dude, it was like something coming at me.
So glad you got all these cameras around to not...
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. All these cameras facing in that direction and not one black shadow moved over his way. And then it could have been, you could make an argument that it could have been someone else's shadow. Or hell, if you're in the pitch black dark, sometimes your eyes play tricks on you.
Record the bullshit claims. So next, Ghost Adventures goes back to the room where they caught that ghostly figure that was clearly not a curtain corner. But this time, they bring an SLS camera. For those of you who are not aware, the SLS camera is pretty much the same thing as the Xbox Kinect. And misinformed paranormal investigators bring this in the hopes to capture a ghost. The SLS camera has been debunked so many times. You can even go back to the last video I did on Ghost Adventures where I exposed the SLS camera, because Zach uses this camera time and time again.
Go in there, shoot in that corner.
Whoa! Whoa! Did you hear women laughing?
I just heard like laughing, like distant too, like distant.
Yeah.
We all hear another female voice, but it isn't captured on our audio.
Surprise, surprise.
Okay, look, I'm gonna go to that exact spot. I'm gonna lay down right here.
Zach, there's a figure standing in the chair right now. Oh my god, there is. I swear to God.
It helps maintain the illusion.
It's standing in the chair, holding onto the lamp. Thank you.
This is absolutely incredible.
No, it isn't. If you guys understood the equipment you were using, you'd know it's nonsense.
As the figure disappears, I immediately go into a very strange trance, and I don't recall the things I start saying.
I love Zach. The bloke's a maniac.
I think this is the part. This is the part I was talking. This is the craziest shit I've ever heard him say, and he said some crazy shit. I just want to have sex.
I love you. I love you.
Okay. Maybe it's time for the rest of the crew to slowly back away from Zach and just leave him be.
I love you too. I felt nirvana. I felt ecstasy. I felt an escape from everything. I felt so great. I felt like I wanted to have sex.
Bombastic side eye.
What the fuck?
Crazy.
No, it's not crazy.
Sex is a part of
What are
life.
you talking? What are you talking about? That's fucking ridiculous. I just wanted to have sex. I know it sounds good. No, not crazy at all, man. As a matter of fact, why don't we all lay on the bed and just try to feel this?
No, you're not supposed to be funny.
No, you're right. Going into a trance and telling a room full of your work colleagues that you want to have sex isn't funny. Well, it's kind of funny. Come on, Zach, it's fucking hilarious. Trust me, mate, you want this to be funny, because if it's not funny, you're just that creepy guy at work.
I don't want to explain it right now. I want to enjoy it.
There was a ghost.
We are capturing absolutely incredible evidence. I wanted to have sex.
I wanted to have sex. I wanted to have sex.
Do you see what I'm saying when I say he's become more of a character than an investigator? He's an absolute character. Side-Eye Guy's right. That's fucking hilarious. And cringe. A little weird, a little cringe, and a little hilarious. Like, it's just a bunch of shit all in one. And it never happens, man. It never happens. I have never experienced anything like this. I've lived in haunted houses. Never have I ever just stopped and was like, I'm feeling like I need to go have sex. I don't know what to say here. It is just the weirdest clip I have ever seen on Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand now why all the crew members are faking their sickness just to get away from Zach.
We move to the 3rd floor and approach the former room 54.
The was that, bro? What was that? Bro, I pushed the door and then it just opened up.
Bro, I pushed the door and it just opened up. Welcome to the world of doors. It's amazing you've lived this long not knowing this golden rule of how doors work. Just wait till you discover how to close them.
Whoa! I just got an anomaly coming out of the room, Aaron.
Bloody hell, the bullshit is coming in thick and fast right now.
Watch what happens here. As Aaron gently nudges the door, something then forcefully pulls it open.
It looked like it was stuck on something, and then you got it pushed past that part, and it just opens. It didn't look like something grabbed it and pulled it open.
With aggression.
I think he kicked the door open. Just before the door jolts back, you can see his left foot doing a weird movement. Of course, I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with a flesh and blood man opening a door that he is right next to over a ghost opening the door. That's my wild and controversial take anyway.
Anomalies come from down the hallway. As they reach the door, one splits off, turns 90 degrees, and goes into the room.
Looks like a bug.
The other one comes directly at us.
Flies. You're showing us repeat footage and talking about common house flies.
I want to see first what happens when one person goes into the basement where we had
That's
all
the
of our
silliest
crew members
shit.
fall unconscious. Whoever can get this cap closest to that wall is the one that goes. You throw this cap against that wall.
So after all the tension Ghost Adventures have built
This feels like something Sam and Colby would do.
up throughout this whole episode, and we're about to reach the final part of the episode, the guys give an unusually long amount of time to this throwing game to see who goes to the basement. It goes on for so long because Zach just cheats over and over again.
I'm not cheating.
But eventually, Zach concedes that he lost and goes into the bloody basement. What a waste of time. Clearly, the episode needed some padding.
Well, something tells me they're probably watching a lot of YouTube content, and they're probably and he's probably trying to get ideas for what, you know, younger audience like to see, if I had to guess, and that's probably why they decided to do this cap game. Because you're right, this is not something they would normally do, but for like something like Sam and Colby or Twin Paranormal or anything like that, they would definitely play a game to determine who would go down where. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Guys, I just can't go past that point by myself. Call me whatever. And knowing what happened to our crew member right over there, that's... Whoa, you guys. I just saw something in the darkness back there. It was like a cloud. It had luminance. Guys, get down here right now. Seriously.
As entertaining as Ghost Adventures can be, I'm always ready for it to be over by the time we get towards the end of the episode.
That's very true.
You're in here. Come and stand right here and tell us what's going on with your building.
As Aaron dangerously calls upon Algernon.
Dangerously.
I've seen episodes of Bargain Hunt more dangerous than this bollocks.
Whoa! God, please, stop! It's falling!
I just love the Benny Hill kind of way the guy runs out of the room.
This very large screen that was standing upright with the other ones is now on the floor.
Two grown men in a small, confined, cluttered space holding equipment knock something over. Fascinating. Best evidence for a ghost so far. Well, I think this is where
But it does go along with the theming, right? Like, something that's clearly not paranormal has been made out to be paranormal. So, like, even if that one guy knew he nudged into it and it fell, he's just going to go with the flow. If Aaron starts screaming and running, he's going to start running too, right? That's typically where they're all on the same page. They all understand what they got to do. And that's why I just have a hard time trusting them anymore. Because I think Side Eye Guy's absolutely right. This episode was complete BS. And I don't think it shows more than it did in this episode. How clearly they just do not care about the science behind it. They just want to go with it because they know it's going to bring in the big bucks. Getting scared is what it's about now. And look, getting scared is a part of the experience too. Don't get me wrong. It is, of course. But being scared isn't what brings the proof out. It's not what I think people like this need to be doing. What I think they need to be doing is trying to debunk stuff and trying to come up with the science behind it as well. Because the things that are paranormal in my eyes are the things that can't be explained by the science of it, the proof, the debunking of it. And there's none of that in here. They just, everything, guys, everything's paranormal. The guy probably having some sort of doubt falls over, maybe exhausted, whatever have you, and automatically spirits did it. The spirit attacked him. Crazy.
To hop off the desperation train. Ghost Adventures will always be funny to watch, but my God, it's just mental. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
I did.
Cheerio.
I did. It was great. So yeah, that was the episode I've been talking about for the past week or so now. Ever since I saw the little end of it on, or at least that moment when Zach talking about sex on TV. What a crazy time to walk in. Couldn't believe that shit. Couldn't believe that shit. And man, I didn't see the full investigation, and thank God I didn't. But at the same time, it's very entertaining. It's just, that's the problem with the paranormal today. That right there is encouraging other paranormal investigators to not go into the science of it. You're just influencing them to, if something happens, freak out, scream, do whatever you want, have a reaction to it, but don't try to debunk it, because it might lead into a very disappointing answer, right? So I think that is unfortunate, because I do think that we do need to focus on the science of it too, 100%. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know in your opinions, and again, I'll see you in the next video, guys. We're almost to 40,000 subs. You guys are just fantastic. Giving my thoughts, I just clicked my keyboard, and I didn't know what was going to happen. But giving my thoughts is always the thing I do. So I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Do take care.
card who can't speak, hot answers through. You won't be mended.